G'day and welcome to the video. It's time for hardcore run number 7. No change from our previous run in terms of mod pack modules, shaders and resource packs. Nothing changes with our setup either. Time to see what we've got. Hey, I've spawned into worse. I've got a river, lake or ocean, forest, fairly open ground, and a jungle right behind me. I may as well get started on everything. I'm clearly at the top of a birch tree, so that's some initial timber sorted. By the time I reach ground level, I've got enough for my first timber tools. The fact there's chickens and wolves is interesting. I wonder if that's Chekhov's wolf. Otherwise, I think this starts looking really nice. After a quick trip into the jungle for stone, and thus upgraded tools, I'm back to the spawn to clear it and to begin my base work. I've run into a fairly common problem. One I should be used to by now. I have no bed. Or sheep. Well, it's going to be a dark first night. Since spending the night on the water is slightly safer than spending it on land, that's what I set out and do. And take the opportunity to come and look at the shipwreck. Diving. At night. With no light source. Sounds like the sort of poorly thought out action I normally do. Except, since the shipwrecks are a standard layout, I know there's a door. And thus, an air pocket for me to safely stay in. One safely looted shipwreck later, and I've got Protection 2 leather pants, Frostwalker leather boots, Curse of Vanishing leather pants as well, carrots, sugar, a treasure map, and bamboo. Which would be of more use if I hadn't spawned next to a jungle. Oh well, it's the thought that counts. The final chest gives me a nice supply of iron and gold. Well, it's been quite a nice return for the level of risk taken. Sheep don't tend to spawn in the ocean, so I may as well start looking for the buried treasure while it's still dark. Haha, my luck is continuing, as it seems that it's actually really close. Short amount of rowing later, and the luck is not as much as I'd hoped. The treasure's underwater. Since I'm not going to dig for the treasure without a bunch of sand, I continue rowing through the night. I put the coast on my left, and row. I pass savanna and plains, but don't spot any sheep or structures. So keep on rowing. With the dawn, I turn around and start heading back. Perhaps I'll see more during the daylight. I soon spot a large number of pumpkins and decide it's worth a closer look and a harvest. At least I'll get something for having come all this way. I reached the pumpkins while munching on some chicken that had got in my way. I really didn't need that poison effect. Oh well. It's the cows I spot from the pumpkin patch that have really got me excited. Even better than cows is what I spot behind the next set of trees. Sheep. They're not going to give me enough wool for a bed, so I'll dye them and make sure of it. 1 sheep, 2 sheep, red sheep, red sheep, red sheep! All that effort only netted me 3 wool. Well, at least that's enough for a bed. Hamlet here decides to jump rather than give me breakfast. It's a good thing the other pigs are more sensible. After some final resource gathering, mainly for acacia saplings, I head back to spawn to offload my loot and begin planning on how I'm going to find the buried treasure. I'm not using F3, so I have to actually search to find the right coordinate in the chunk for the buried treasure. And, since it's underwater, I brought lots of sand. That's so I can make a caisson and dig without worrying about running out of air. Which is a great plan, right up to the point where I forget I'm wearing Frostwalker boots. Okay, let me fix that. Soon enough I have my sand in place, and it's time to start burrowing down. My first few guesses as to the treasure location aren't on the mark, so I have to expand my diggings. And that doesn't work. And since I know the treasure can only spawn under sand, gravel, or dirt, I dig down in my pit to expose the wall layers. With no luck. I've got little choice but to expand the hole again. Diving down to see what the bottom looks like, I dig up a single gravel and... oh! Ignore my diggings. That's actually quite a nice bit of treasure. I retrieve the treasure, leave my earthworks an open pit, and head back to spawn to clear it properly and start my base building. I find a nice supply of diorite immediately under the spawn point, which is going to be useful really soon, and start putting in my standard now, hardcore base design. While it's not a massive amount of terraforming, this location demonstrates one of the drawbacks to the standard base design approach. It can mean a lot of digging. The opposite can also be true, and I've got plenty of landfill I need to put in so that the base sits on a proper ground level. Overall, it's a little over 4 chunks that need flattening. The diorite vein continues to provide, and when it doesn't, there's coal. Well, this is a lot better than what I found under my previous bases. Work continues on establishing the base. I set up my storage hall, start on my first mine access, and, like in previous worlds, get uninvited guests through my farms. Like in previous worlds, the first wandering trader is given an alternative set of negotiations. In another first for my Minecrafting experience, I grow a super birch tree. It's great for timber and space utilisation. Not so great for getting enough saplings back. With the last couple of slabs in place, the ground floor plan of the base is formally done. And I can clearly see all the chunks out this way that are going to need landfilling. Oh, wait a second. It's not 4 chunks I need to flatten, it's up to 16. I continue to dig, chop, and place. And soon the hall starts rising above its foundations. There are some unfortunate realities associated with not finishing the landfill first. It always pays to be safe. I mean, I found diamonds before killing a hostile mob. It also means that I've not bothered to fix my armour beyond my Protection 2 leather pants. I have at least given myself a shield and an iron sword. So, it's more of a 2 steps forward, 2 steps back kind of thing. I go back to the newly discovered cave system with the shield and iron sword safely in my inventory. That fear of not having encountered any hostiles near base is quickly remedied as an arrow welcomes me into the cave. Time to get the shield out, I guess. After a short period of bravely hiding behind a block, I have my first hostile kill. Which means it's time to head into the cave and keep an eye out for the second skeleton. Strangely enough, in addition to that being my first hostile kill, the cave gives me my first mined iron ore, and redstone, and copper. Coming back to the cave for further exploration, it turns up riches of coal and iron, in addition to very nice veins of andesite and diorite. It's given me enough supplies that I can start lining the farm level, even though I haven't finished giving it a roof. It's taken long enough, but I finally make myself some iron armour. A chest plate at the very least. I switch to my construction skin and get back to work on building out the base. Building work which is temporarily delayed by the appearance of a hostile mob above ground. Finally, I take care of it and carry on. One aspect of my farm which has been absent so far is my animals. So I've gone looking for some candidates to fix that situation. First one off the rank, pigs. A chicken soon joins the party. But it seems that one chicken and one pig was all that there was around base. It's not a complete loss. A passing wolf soon becomes my newest friend. I set out again to look for animals, and this time I'm lucky enough to spot a sheep across the lake. Suitably prepared to lead my new friend back to base, I climb out of the lake and find that there's 2 sheep. And a pig. Focusing just on the sheep for now, we carefully head back and pick up another chicken on the way. Did I just see one of my sheep vanish? Hello, Mr. Wolf. Do you know where my sheep went? Hey, cut that out. I'm sorry, but you're a danger to farm animals. A second wolf? Since when has there been a second wolf? Clearly the resource pack hid the fact they were aggravated, but I didn't even hit that second wolf. It shouldn't have attacked me. Oh well, no point getting upset about it now. It's another death, and maybe some lessons learned along the way. Well, according to our rules, that's it for this world. We're still catching up to the survival world, so the next one is another hardcore world. We'll see you then.